What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and once again we are here with my favorite thing to do every week outside of my videos with my daughter, of course. That is Creators Corner, the place where I get to talk to all kinds of interesting folks about what they love to do. And this week we got a friend, a longtime friend actually, a guy I've been working with on and off for a few years now. You can find him primarily on Shot from the Point live with Tommy C every single Sunday at 3 p.m. He's a comedian, he's an all-around funny man, and he's a fellow fat brother in arms. He is the legendary Jake Link. What's going on, my friend?
What's up? What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me on, Dave.
You mean again?
Again? That's right.
This is actually our second time, and I promise this will be the only time we reference this. We did an interview before.
It will? It will?
Yeah, probably not. But a couple weeks ago, we tried to do this before, and we did 45 minutes of great stuff. I didn't have the shit recording, and we don't have any of it, so it's the ghost episode. We'll never see it. We could hear me talking.
We had a lot of great people calling into that show too, and you guys will never ever hear about it.
Bing Crosby channeled through me. It was incredible. The
ghost of Robin Williams called in, and it was great.
The only thing he said though was. All right, that was in poor taste. That was. So yeah, we're trying this again, and I think it should be good. I'm excited about it because I like talking to comedians. Mainly, I've always fancied myself as one. I've been a student of the game. I love comedy. I think it's the most personal form of entertainment out there. I think it's more personal than food. You know, comedy is so subjective.
Food and comedy is something that I take very personally.
Maybe it's because I'm fat. Yeah, I don't know, but I take them both very seriously, and it's very personal. It's a little different for everybody.
Knock joke and a side of fries, please. I'm feeling a little sad.
Any fucking day of the week, any day of the week, and I'm a satisfied guy.
Yeah,
I love comedy, and I love talking to comedians because the primary job of a comedian is just to pay attention to shit. Just to look at stuff all the time and pay attention a little bit harder than everybody else. And then we get to just talk about it. And if you find it funny, it's not. And when you do, we get that satisfaction, that gratifying moment of laughter, which is just nothing better.
No better high.
Yeah, it is. It's a great feeling. It really is. It's a fantastic feeling. So let's jump right into it, shall we, my friend?
Let's take two.
Yeah, take two. So growing up, when did you start realizing, hey, I can make some people laugh? Or, I mean, how did, look, either you're into comedy or you're not. Everybody likes to laugh, but when did you start finding out that you had a little bit of a gift to talk and make people chuckle a little bit?
Probably it's funny, like teachers like growing up, we were talking, I still remember it was my teacher, Miss Goldstein.
It's Goldstein.
Yeah.
That's a great comedy setup name, by the way. Just so you know.
We were talking about the Frankenstein book, and how Frankenstein, was pretty much a person that they were trying to make the perfect human being out of other human parts.
Yeah.
And she was comparing everybody. She said we would take Sean's strength, and we would take Rachel's hair, and then she looked at me and she said we would take Jacob's sense of humor. And at that point, I had all right, I guess that means I'm funny.
Sure.
And this is third or fourth grade. I was I've been known to make people laugh, and I've known what's funny. At a young age, I understood a lot more jokes that adults understood.
Yeah.
And and also around that time, people start to find talents and stuff. Kids start to find out that they're really great athletes. I was okay at sports. Kids start to find out that they're good at math and all that stuff. And I figured I was better at making people laugh than all that academic shit.
Did you find that it was just you were making observations that were being humorous, or were you writing entire bits at that? I mean, at a young age, how did it start? Because I've always thought with you, I think you're at your best when you're just observing and reacting. I think you're absolutely hysterical when you observe and react.
It was probably more or less observations, at that age. Just if somebody would say something to me, like being in 6th grade, Jacob, you're just a retard because you're in the resource classes. I'd be like, that's funny. That's funny because I guess your mother likes to blow retards.
So it kind of started in. Was the comeback kind of your first medium when it comes to comedy? Was that like a defense mechanism type deal?
It was a defense mechanism that like it was like, damn, Jake got jokes, and then all of a sudden like people started hanging out with me, and kind of like it became like my thing. Like I wasn't like, like if people said something to me, I'd just kind of be like, and it's something my dad kind of taught me, because I'd come home upset, crying because I was a little bit different because. I was diagnosed with a learning disability at like 5 years old. And, at that age, you just know that something's different, but you don't know why.
Yeah, you can't grasp that. Yeah.
Yeah. But my dad pretty much said, if people are going to say stuff to you, you don't take that. You don't just, you go back at them. You say what you say. You find out what's up with them and you go at them with it. And then it kind of helped. It helped. And then, and from there, it just kind of got easier to make those observations, not just about people, but just about the world around me.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't just go up to a random person, hey, asshole. And,
would you fancy yourself more as an insult comic or, I mean, everybody has a certain type. I mean, you live in the East Coast, you live in Jersey, you live in all that area where it's basically ball-breaking country. I mean, you can't go to the fucking drugstore without somebody making a comment. I mean, it's ball-breaking territory.
So, yeah.
Is that the type of vein that you would think your comedy is mainly in?
I would say I'm an insult comic, but I insult mostly myself.
Self-deprecating insult is the best.
Yeah, self-deprecating. But I make the jokes before anyone else can. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But it's
if I get them before they do, they got shit to say.
Yeah. But it's funny. Like I was talking to somebody, and I go, but I'm sitting there like I'll be out, like I'll just be sitting there just looking at people, just judging them. And I said this to somebody. I go, why do you do that? I go, I figure they're judging me already.
Right.
so
if they say something, I've already got ammunition, baby.
Yeah.
It's called. It's I'm making sure that I'm ready. I'm prepared for anything.
Yeah.
I'm not being mean-spirited. You just don't understand.
Yeah, just. But like you said, like growing up in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Which, like, I always just thought everybody acted like this.
No, you guys are fucking cretins of earth up there. From the Midwest. We're nice.
I know. Oh, yeah. You're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Right. Step on somebody's foot, you say you're sorry. You don't go, you jack off, you stepped on my foot, you ass. Yeah, that's not normal behavior, Jake. I mean,
I thought it was. I remember my best friend. He's still one of my best friends to this day. He moved out 2 houses down the street from me. My mom was saying, Jake, why don't you go play with the kid outside? I go, no. I go, why? I go, he looks like Eddie Munster. And I was in karate, and I had my bow staff. And I would go out in the front yard.
Wait a second. Did you just start a sentence with, I had my bow staff?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's great. No, finish with the bow staff story. I love that. Go ahead.
It's funny, like, because I went outside in the front yard, and he was outside. He was, like, playing with his little sister on his bike, and he just kind of looked funny. And I went outside with my bow staff because I was in karate. And
that's normal. Day 1, karate gi. Day 2, bow staff. That's crazy. Okay.
So I went outside, like, in the front yard just to, like, practice with it because I couldn't do it in the house because there's no room. And I remember him telling the story. I go, yeah, I don't want to hang out with you because I just thought you were some weirdo with a fucking Donatello bow staff or something. But then one day we just went, hey, you want to hang out? But it was like so weird, like the friendship, the way it started was like, I don't like you and you don't like me. I was like, whatever. Fuck it. I don't like you, but hey, you like video games? Cool, so do I.
See, I would have been drawn to you because you had a bow staff. I mean, I gotta hang. Maybe he'll let me play with his bow staff. You know, I mean, fuck, I would have been down with that. It's a bow staff.
It's funny, like some of my best like friendships have started like, I really didn't like you at first.
I know the feeling. I've been there. I've been there. You know what? I really thought you were just a complete dick when I first met you. And
it's like you kind of grew on me.
Yeah.
I guess that's just like you said, like the Northeast. But like I said, like doing the show with Tommy. I mean, Tommy being from in the same area where I grown up, and but doing the show with like you and Dave and Jeff, I see a completely different.
Oh, sure.
Different outlook.
Sure, you got people from all over the country and from other countries. You got Canadians. You got to deal with Canadians. That's got to be the hardest thing for an East Coaster, because you never know when Dave Rose is going to come back with something. Well, then I maced the bear, eh? I mean, you don't know how to deal with that shit. That's the hardest part about talking to Dave Rose, because you don't know what is going to come back. And then I went and I ate some Canadian bacon, and it was a good time. I went and I.
Yeah. And then I had a heart attack, but it didn't matter because I have free health care.
Yeah, I sodomized 3 goats today, eh? It's just crazy. You never know what's going to happen in Canada. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
But so pretty much I pretty much became a defense mechanism, and then it turned into comedy.
Yeah. Well, about what age do you think that transition happened from just busting on people who'd be ripping on you to like, okay, I'm starting to write? Because I think most people know by now a comedian's number one weapon, a good comedian's number one weapon, is the ability to write. So when did that start for you, where you started transitioning to actual comedy and writing and all that good stuff?
I actually didn't start doing it. I first started. I started doing sketch comedy.
Yeah,
that's when I first started. I started with a Rocky Horror Cast called the Friday Night Specials. It's what we did. We would do a shadow cast, which we would have. They'd play the movie up top, and then we'd act out the movie. But before we did that, we would do original comedy skit that we would write before the movie, because you could only see that movie so many times without having to,
you want to kill yourself, sure.
Yeah, without, wanting to frickin' kill somebody, but like you said, and
or yourself, whatever ends the movie for you.
Yeah. It became white noise after the 3.5 years, I think.
3.5 years you did that?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. I have a newfound respect for you, because anybody who could sit through 3.5 years of Rocky Horror, and don't get me wrong, I like Rocky Horror, but being around that group as long as you were, there's some fucking weird people who hang out in those circles of Rocky Horror fanaticism. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole different show. This is about me today.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck them.
I could really do a whole hour and a half probably on them. But this is, I mean, but like, I saw them do a few. They were doing them like every once in a while, like these comedy skits. And when I saw that, I said, and also the yelling shit at the screen. I said, when I saw that, I go, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was sitting there watching this. It was, I need to be a part of this. It was, I pretty much like, I asked my friend who became my friend after this, I asked him, when do you guys, like, are you guys looking for anyone? Are you guys taking applications? Are you guys doing this? And he saw how eager I was. I went in auditions, and then shortly after I came on, I said, listen, I think the most important thing about the that you guys do is the pre-shows, because that's what's going to keep people coming back for more.
Sure. So
I said, we got to start writing. And, me, growing up, big fan of SNL, big fan of Mad TV, huge fan of probably one of the most underrated sketch comedy shows, and that's in Living Color.
Living Color, baby. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more.
So, because I'll still watch them today and be like, it's like still on point today.
Oh, yeah, and so many people got their start there, too. I mean, people talk about SNL, but a lot of people got their start on in Living Color.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. all the Waynes.
The endless succession of Wayne's brothers. Yeah, that's right.
One of the best jokes in Don't Be a Menace in South Central was,
God,
damn, she got more kids than Miss Wayne's. I started like, I was like, all right, well, we started just writing this, that, and the other thing, and just every week we just started writing. There were like these 5-minute pre-show sketches, and they just started like really like coming together, and they're really funny. They were like over exaggerated, like copies of ourselves.
Yeah,
and some of them were songs, like original songs that we had, and just the skits and songs and just stuff like that, and then it got to it came down to a point where they were doing a Rocky Horror Con.
Oh God.
Yeah. All the big names in the Rocky Horror community are there. All the big time fans.
Holy shit. And now you had to step your game up for that one, I'm sure.
So I said, I was sitting there.
But it had to be exciting, though. I mean, it's like, oh shit.
It was. Because, I mean, there's some like big time like fans like of that fan club that are there. But I was sitting there like before we did it, I was talking to the guy that runs it. I said, Ryan, I said, I know there is a sequel to Rocky Horror. It's called Shock Treatment, but it doesn't. They don't touch on anything that happened in the previous movie.
They're like, we're not going to reference anything. Yeah. You're not getting Meatloaf, sons of bitches.
Yeah, pretty much. They don't have Meatloaf, Barry Bostwick, or Susan Sarandon, or any of the, But
yeah. Who needs all that shit? Who needs stars? Fuck it.
Yeah, Patricia Quinn, Little Nell, and like certain other key players, but other than that, no, that's about it. But they no one ever talks about what happened after they left the castle. I just looked at her and said, that had to be a really awkward car ride home.
Right.
So at that point, they're like, I said, I think we have to write this, the car ride home. So we did this whole entire, and this is we wrote this, and like we actually performed this at like the con in front of 300 people.
Well, you took a risk.
Yeah, this was great. Like I wrote myself a part. I gave myself some corny ass jokes. Like I made myself a cop that pulls him over, and I gave myself some really punny jokes about what was going on, and it was just, and we didn't end up because you could have won a chance to perform at this other show that was going on.
Yeah,
but just the fact that we got to perform, and 300 plus people and the Rocky Horror community,
yeah, on
that, and it was something that I co-wrote, and I came up with the parts for this, and it was just it was such an honor to see something that I created.
Yeah.
And go to in front of these lunatics, these freaking
rabid fan base. Absolutely.
It's funny at that point. I'll never forget my one friend. He kind of said, "How long?" It was the night before we went down there. How long do you think you see yourself staying here? And I said, "I really don't know."
Yeah.
And but it was funny. After that, I realized I'm maybe I'm not that into this as I think.
Yeah, it's kind of
I'm not I don't like dressing goth.
Yeah.
It's it's just too much effort.
It's kind of like the guy who's been smoking cigarettes for 30 years and then visits a cancer ward and
yeah.
maybe this isn't a great way to spend my time. Yeah.
I mean, at that point, I just met my wife. And she didn't really do the Rocky Horror and stuff.
Yeah, well, good on her. I already like her. But that convention, that was. It's safe to assume that was your big aha moment, where you really started to fall in love with the writing aspects and elements of comedy and the adulation that you get from doing something really good.
Well, yeah, I mean, but at that point, as far as writing with the stand-up, not stand-up, with sketch comedy, with that, I wanted to do more. And I kind of felt like that was as far as it was going to go with the Rocky Horror. So I kind of wanted to just, I wanted to just, so shortly after that, I stepped out and I wanted to concentrate more on on my stand up because I was literally burning the candle at two ends. At one point, I was playing hockey, full-time job, had a girlfriend, coaching hockey,
Jesus,
stand up, Rocky Horror, writing these pre-shows, performing these pre-shows.
Yeah, wow.
And like all these things. Clearly, the girlfriend thing didn't last too long. Yeah.
You know, at least your priorities were in order, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I kept my full-time job. I mean, I'm still there.
There you go.
I'm still at the so you know. I guess I kept it somewhat intact.
Yeah,
but you know,
it's not an easy thing too to be balancing stand-up and sketch comedy because they're two different forms of comedy, and one is very selfless, and then the other, being stand-up, is completely selfish because it is you, it's your voice, it's your opinions, and if you don't make these people laugh, there's no cast members to blame this on. So how was that transition?
I blame the lighting guy.
Right?
Yeah.
The bartender, if he wouldn't have watered down the drink so much, they would have laughed more. Fucking cocksucker.
Yeah. I blame the door guy.
You should have been friendlier, Jeff. What's the matter with you?
Yeah. No, I mean, there definitely is. You don't have anyone to blame, and that's the scary thing.
Yeah.
But you just do what you got to do. Sure. And you just kind of do it. I mean, they are the same and they are different.
Yeah.
If you kind of get what I'm saying with that.
No, absolutely. Yeah. There's elements that as far as the performing and some of the timing stuff that are the same, but in other ways they couldn't be more opposite. So I totally get what you're saying. So you transition away from the Rocky Horror group. At this point, had you done any solo stand-up gigs, or have you yet to really dip your toe into that?
No. I was doing all of that at the same time.
Oh, you were performing. You weren't just getting your act together. You were actually performing.
No, like when I was doing Rocky Horror, I did that for like about a year, and then I said, you know what? I said it's time. I said I'm gonna do stand-up. I wrote some stuff. I would run some stuff by my friends, like I would say, all right, how about this? I like tits so much that I grew my own set, stuff like that, and like I would just run it by my friends, and like that's funny,
Yeah.
And like this one place I passed by, it's like a children's dentist, and I kid you not, like this is not even a joke, but this children's dentist is like right below an adult bookstore. And I said, I go, that's hysterical. And then, there's like these other places that I noticed, like after seeing this, like Planned Parenthood, that's like right next to like a plumbing supply store. So I guess we know like I like paying attention to places that are right next to them, especially Planned Parenthood.
Sure.
So
anything that has to do with children. What's fucked up around children? Let's notice that.
So I said, I guess we know where the doctor gets his tools from. So I said, that's like opening up a Planned Parenthood in like a daycare center, and like calling the daycare center the Lucky Ones.
The Lucky Ones.
So I started writing stuff like that. I wrote Very Blue in the beginning.
Right. It would be great to have a Planned Parenthood clinic right next to a daycare, because you could just have a little sign that says, in case you were wondering, I'm pointing towards the daycare center.
Yeah.
If you need another reason.
Have it right next to a Chuck E. Cheese.
Right? That's kind of cool.
Those places make you want to go to a vasectomy.
Right. See, one of the things that I did when I wanted to get into comedy when I was a kid, I had one experience that I completely got booed off a stage, basically. But I never went on stage again. But what I would do is, and this is just something that I did, kind of similar to what you would do with your friends. If I was at a bus stop, I would do like 2 or 3 minutes while we're waiting for a bus. I would just something that if I had some stuff that I've been working on, I would just start talking about it and see if I got laughs. And obviously not enough because I never went back on stage. But I think it's a good way of doing it. Sometimes you just got to put yourself out there. So when did that start for you? When did you go for it?
It was in March, probably 8 years ago. And I said there was a local comedy club. They did open mics. I told one of my friends, I said, I'm doing it tonight. I'm going tonight. Screw this. And he said, all right, I'll be there.
How did it go?
Shockingly, it went really well my first time. It wasn't like one of those, it did horrible. But maybe I should have done, because it seems like when Chris Rock did horrible his first time.
Sure.
All
the greats had a bad experience.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. That's the thing. I had nothing. I didn't get to be hungry enough.
Right. There it is. I didn't get shit on enough in my life. I don't have enough pain to draw from.
Yeah, as far as being, but I probably would have cried and just said, screw it, this ain't for me. But maybe
I'm a firm believer of you learn more from your failures than you do your successes anyway.
Yeah.
But,
definitely. Yeah. I had my failures in stand-up. let's just say, there's a reason I still work in a heating and cooling supply house. But it went well my first time, and people people said no, it's your first time. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's funny sometimes. If I do stand-up, I'll tell the MC, I'm like, listen. Just tell everybody it's my first time when you bring me up on stage.
Get the sympathy vote.
It works sometimes.
I'm sure it does.
I just do it as a goof sometimes, and but people are like, you're really good.
Just stroke the ego.
Yeah.
Yes. You silly bastards.
But no.
Wait a second. I saw this guy. It's a second first time? I've seen this. I know fat guys, and this is him. He's a phony.
Yeah, big fat phony. Family Guy.
He's a phony. Yeah, that's good stuff. Oh my god. So you're doing stand up. You've completely transitioned away from Rocky Horror at this point.
I'm still doing Rocky Horror and stand up at this point.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm doing the Rocky Horror, I'm doing the stand up. I'm having success. I end up, a few months in, Opie and Anthony is doing this thing called Car Crash Comedy.
Yeah, I'm sure most people out there know who Opie and Anthony are. If you don't, they're a lot like Howard Stern. Don't say it to Howard Stern or he might shoot you. But are they still having a war, Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony? Or
Anthony is right now not on a radio station.
Oh, really?
That's something happened with on Twitter.
Oh shit! See, yeah, I don't watch it anymore. I don't listen anymore, so I had no idea.
Yeah, something happened on Twitter with him, and a lady attacked him who was black, and he said,
"Oh."
So he had to leave. So right now it's just Opie and Jim Norton.
That doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, the Opie and Norton show.
Oh my god!
Anthony does the Anthony Cumia show out of his beautiful house in Long Island.
Out of his impenetrable racist fortress. No, I'm just kidding.
It kind of is, because the guy does collect a lot of World War II memorabilia.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not going to say which side, but let's just say.
Yeah, let's just say there's not a lot of stars and bars in there, is what we'll say. My God.
There's a certain crisscross side that's very popular in his house. I hang out with some people, not the name drop, but I hang out with some people that go to his house. And
really?
Yeah, there's some interesting people.
I'm sure.
Interesting things. But
oh my God.
But yeah.
So you got on the Opie and Anthony show.
They were doing this thing. It was called Car Crash Comedy. It's let me set it up. They were doing this big comedy shows, the Traveling Virus comedy show, where it was like it was a concert style, like all-star comedy show, like where you had Jim Norton, you had all like these big name guys like Bob Kelly, and not Jim Gaffigan.
Saget and all them, right? Saget was there, and
yeah, Saget and all them. So I signed up. Like a few of my other friends said that they were gonna go do it. So I said, yeah, whatever, I'll go do it. So I kept on email. I must have emailed them like 3 or 4 times, because I'm not crazy. And And I finally got the email. I checked my personal email at work, which I don't think I'm supposed to.
Right. Oh, now you're getting fired.
My boss he saw me do this. I got mad ups when I went yes. I just jumped up and my boss was like, "What?" I go, "I'm not going to be at work tomorrow."
Deal with it.
Yeah. I go, "Why? What's up?" I go, "I'm going on Opie and Anthony." He goes, "That's awesome." And I said, "I might be quitting my job too."
And I might be out of this motherfucker, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Don't need this 9 to 5 no more.
So you kind of felt invincible for a few minutes, huh?
Yeah. And he goes, "You fucking scared the shit out of me." And I go, like, when the way I jumped up, but I was so excited. And so
did you start thinking this could be your break? I mean, is this that moment where
oh, of course, because I didn't know any better.
Yeah. Very naive at this point.
Yeah. And I was thinking this is gonna be it. You know, this is that big break that everyone talked about, and the Kelly Clarkson song is playing in my head. Some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this. You
know what I think hurt you because Jonah Hill was just getting popular at that point, and they're like, we can't have two of them. We can't have two of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have been a freaking Oscar nominee.
Yeah, I could have been in Moneyball. It could have been me.
Yeah, by the time I see Wolf of Wall Street, I go, "Fuck that motherfucker."
Fuck Jonah Hill.
Fuck Jonah Hill.
22 Jump Street my ass. So you're prepping for the Opie and Anthony show, and how does this go? What exactly happens in the car crash comedy thing?
Well, I get there like at 5:30 in the morning, and there's a few of my friends that I just started like met and doing comedy with. A few guys I had met just for the first time, and I met a few contacts and a few good friends there, and we're sitting in the green room. We're all just sitting there. We're asking them, "Are we allowed to say this on the radio? Are we allowed to say that on the radio?" Because we thought we were going on the XM version of it. Turns out we were going on the terrestrial. I was like, "Are we allowed to say fag?"
I imagine that was quite an interesting green room. Just like all these young comedians, they're just like, "Oh, this is my shot. This is my shot. Can I say fag? What about tits?"
You know what? There was a few guys that just never did stand up. They just said, "Yeah, no, just do it.
Fuck it."
Yeah. So we get we're sitting in there, and we saw Jim Norton comes in. He starts talking to all of us, and he's nice as could be.
Yeah. Very personable guy. I've always heard Jim Norton.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's in talking to us, and then we see Lewis Black walk by.
Oh God, a legend.
Yeah,
a legend.
And then we see Bob Saget walk by.
Oh fucking A. It's like heart starts. It's Bob fucking Saget, and if you know anything about Bob Saget, you gotta say fucking in between Bob Saget because he's one of the dirtiest comedians in history.
Yeah,
it's Danny fucking Tanner.
Danny fucking Tanner just walked by, and then Mick Foley.
Oh my God!
Walked by, just like I remember, I remember I said to one of my buddies, I go, if I did not know who he was, I would just think he was a fucking roadie to like fucking Motley Crue or something.
He's the guy who holds Saget's cocaine. That's who that was.
Yeah.
If you didn't know any better, that's very possible.
Yeah, he was a homeless guy that they picked up off the street to play bongos or something.
Right? Oh my God!
So it's just like, holy crap! Like,
so these are your judges?
Yeah, these are the judges. No pressure,
no pressure at all.
So, but unlike the other ones, the other contests that they actually had like an audience. Mm-hmm. Like people would just come watch the show. Like.
Oh,
this time they didn't have an audience.
Oh no!
So then they call us all in. We're all sitting in the studio, Indian style.
Oh my God!
Like when you're like 5.
Sit in the circle, kids. Sit in the circle.
Yeah, we're all sitting up, and then they put us in front.
Holy shit!
Of the window with a microphone, and then everybody goes, And the best way I can describe it, you know the story with the sword and the stone?
Excalibur, sure.
Excalibur? Everybody that went up there just kind of was like, yeah, I got this. I'm going to be the guy that does this. And then all of a sudden, they're not the guy that does it.
Yeah, now how it worked was you would get to do your bit, and if you got 3 car crash sounds.
I think you got like a minute or 2 minutes or something. If you got 3 car crashes within that time, you were done. I got my 3 car crashes, and then I sat down. It was great exposure. Over a million people heard me.
Yeah.
So
it had to be very difficult, though. I mean, doing comedy is hard enough to a room that may or may not laugh, but to do comedy in a room where there's no reaction. Oh God, that's
my first joke. Like I got the reactions and stuff, and but these are guys that just like have heard every single joke told every single thousands of times, whether you think it's original or not. It's because comedy's been told 1,000 different times,
sure,
1,000 different ways. Every joke's been told, but. I can figure out a joke as it's being told. I can figure out the punchline.
Sure, yeah. It's the mechanism that changes in comedy. It's not it's the mechanism. It's how you deliver is what makes comedy still relevant. Is why comedy still goes on. The jokes are always the same. It's the mechanism that changes.
I wish I could be around the time when Why'd the Chicken Cross the Road was the fucking...
Sure, I would have owned that fucking time frame. Absolutely.
Oh, God, I wish I was the guy that wrote it. I would have been like, oh, my God.
You think his family still gets royalties? You think you think they get a check every month?
Yeah.
Just like, here you go. How are you rich? Well, you're not going to believe this, but my great-great-grandfather,
that guy's the harlot of his time.
He wrote Why the Chicken Crossed the Road. That's my family, motherfucker. He's old money. La-di-da. Jesus Christ. So you got your 3 car crashes. How long did you get your 3 car crashes? How long into your bit?
5 seconds. Nah.
Okay.
I don't know. It felt like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It felt like all this build. I probably got like 4 or 5 jokes into it, and it just like, I didn't do any worse or any better than the other guys.
Yeah.
The guy that won, he shouldn't have won.
Was it crushing? I mean, how did it feel? I know you had an uplifting moment afterwards, and I want you to talk about that too. But how did it feel directly after it happened? You didn't win. You got your car crashes. Was this like the end of a dream, or was this like, okay, I got a shot here in life? I mean, how did you feel directly after?
There was 2 things going through my head, because at this point I didn't know. Either there was gonna be a crowd of people outside the studio just going, "Oh my God, you're horrible at comedy! What a loser, fag!"
Right? They got their tomatoes ready and they're aiming at me.
Boo! Just yelling things at me, or they're gonna say, "Oh no, this guy was funny," or they would just ignore me.
Just ignore you completely, which is kind of like the best hopeful of the outcome at that point, I'm sure. It's like maybe they'll just ignore me.
I don't, like I said, I don't think I did horrible. But, I don't think because comedy is very subjective.
It's very, very subjective. It's more personal than food. That's why I say it.
Yeah.
It's very subjective.
But I mean, I had I went from losing this. It wasn't like crushing. I didn't like go off crying and stuff, and
But it probably gave you perspective on where you were. Like gave you did it kind of bring you the ego in check at that point and reaffirm what you wanted to do?
Oh, it definitely. It made me more hungry.
Yeah, that's what it's. You know what, and that shows that you're in this for the right reasons. Because some people, that's it. They get their 3 car crashes, and they're not coming back. But the fact that you stayed hungry, and I'm sure that something happened after had to do with it. I know you had a little run-in with somebody in the elevator. You want to go ahead and tell everyone about that? That's a great story.
Yeah, Vic Foley, I suplexed him. No,
have a nice day.
Yeah, no, I forgot my notebook in the elevator, and I went up into the elevator, and somebody was standing in there, a certain wrestler legend, no big deal, named Mick Foley. He looked at me. It's kind of like a very awkward moment because here's this guy that I'm not a huge wrestling fan, but when I was, Mick Foley was my favorite wrestler. I pretty much stopped watching after he was pretty much done.
Yeah.
And this guy, he looked at me, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "I liked your Macaulay Culkin joke very, very much." And I was just like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, Mick. I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I just said, "Thank you."
You just made this whole thing worth it.
And I just I was completely taken back.
Sure.
And I mean, then I went outside and Lewis Black was out there, and he was talking to some of us. He goes, "You just gotta work. Yeah. You just gotta keep on writing." It's actually a good Lewis Black.
That wasn't a bad Lewis Black at all. Yeah, actually.
You got some great. You're a great writer. You just gotta work on your confidence.
Sure.
Yes.
How many times do you think he's given that same speech to comedians over his life?
Here, kid, catch.
Right? You had your Mean Joe Green moment with Lewis Black and Mick Foley.
Yeah.
In the elevator, was it before or after he said, "Hey, I got Saget's drugs in my pocket"?
Yeah. I should have said, "I'm sorry, who are you?"
Oh, that would have been fucked up. That would have got, you know what? Knowing Mick Foley, at least from, I know the fucking guy, but I mean, I bet that would have made him laugh. And who are you again?
Yeah.
That would have been good. That would have.
You're the guy from the ravioli commercials? But God. The next day they had the stand-up the stand-up thing.
Sure.
And I had tickets to it, which would have even been better because, if I won, I would have gotten to open up the show.
Oh, wow.
And the fact is, the venue that they had it was this big outdoor venue, and it was 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, God. So you could have had the Rocky moment.
I had this I have these people holding up signs saying, "We love Jake," and I would have done my set, and they would have carried me off.
Oh my! It would have been like Rocky fighting at the Spectrum. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's exactly what it would have been like, and people would have Jake, and everybody would have just, and I would have done, and then I would have quit my job, and I would have gotten a sitcom, and I would have got my own late night show.
I would have been in the 40-Year-Old Virgin, and
and I would have called a paparazzi a faggot, and I had to apologize.
Do you think you would have been a guy who could have handled fame, or would you have been one of the guys who's like Twitter would have been your enemy? Because I know right now you like to piss people off on Twitter. It's kind of your thing. But do you think you would have been able to handle it, or would it just been bad?
I think I would have been able to handle it because I don't think I would have cared.
Yeah.
I think people would have had respect for me.
Yeah.
I would have gotten work one way or another.
Yeah, that's true.
But the next day, like I was saying, what really got me, Mick Foley was standing there, and I hear, "Hey, Jake," and I see him, and he does the whole Macaulay Culkin thing, and I was like, and my friend was like, "Dude, you know Mick Foley?" I'm like,
that's
yeah.
cool.
So then he signed this. I'm getting it down. It just says, "To Jake, you really let yourself go from since Home Alone from Mick Foley." So,
that's really cool that a joke that you told not only landed, but it stuck with him a whole 24 hours later to the point where he referenced you in public. That's something to hang your hat on.
Somebody who probably has brain damage.
Yes! Even more so. Yeah, absolutely. You probably can't remember his wife's name most of the time. He remembered you. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not saying, but Maybe I'm the reason he's gotten into stand-up.
Maybe you could have been the inspiration.
I know. If this fat fuck can do it, why can't I?
And it's quite. That has to be an inspiring thing now, considering he's transitioned quite successfully to the stand-up world himself.
You know what's funny? He tried to do it on the opening the show.
Oh no shit!
And he did horrible.
He bombed. Oh my god, that's too good.
But yeah, it was. It was It was.
What if you would have told your joke?
Oh yeah, I look like Macaulay Culkin if I let myself go. I've actually messaged him, and he actually said, "You know what? I remember you."
Oh wow.
So yeah, I was talking to him about it.
If I ever am able to get him on one of the wrestling shows, I'm having you on. You're gonna co-host that with me, and we're gonna talk to Mick Foley together because that would be gold.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, I think I remember you. It's like it was a life-changing moment for me to be like, yeah,
life-changing moment for you. For him, it was a Thursday. Look at this autograph, Mick. You signed it, you son of a bitch.
I must have signed like 4 of them that day. I just assumed any fat little blonde-haired boy that looked like Chaz Bono was you.
I wanted 4.
Jonah Hill has one too.
Jonah Hill's on a podcast telling this exact same story right now. Oh my god. Oh Jesus. Oh god. All right, okay, so after the Opie and Anthony thing, where did you go from there? What was the next step? Did you go back? Did you take a little break? Did you thrust yourself right back into writing? Oh god, I'm losing it. Oh my god, it was too funny.
Yeah, I don't know why he just said it. I really lost myself since Home Alone.
Yeah,
wasn't even in that movie.
Wasn't even in that one. I don't know. It's so weird. So yeah,
it's getting hard to come back from that.
I know it's hard. I'm trying. It's hard.
I mean, I didn't give up. I still did whatever I was doing, and I actually, when I did the Opie and Anthony thing that night, I had to go do my Rocky thing. So,
oh wow! Oh, that was at the same time.
Yeah.
You hadn't even left Rocky at that point. Holy shit.
No. I had to go. It's funny, like I had XM playing, and they were playing the replay, and I actually had my set playing.
Oh wow!
And, I was in front of it. I was like, hold on, I'm about to play, and then the cop I was in front of the movie theater. The cop's like, tell me, move it along, sir. And I'm like, dude, it's like, come on, I'm about to be on the radio.
I'm on the radio.
I was just on Opie and Anthony. Okay, just after that, you have to go. You're blocking fire. All cops sound like that.
That's how all cops sound. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Every cop I've ever heard.
Yes.
Move it along, buddy.
Yeah. You're blocking a fire exit.
Move it along, pal. I don't care
Move
if you're
along, Jonah Hill.
Look, Macaulay.
Yeah.
I understand that you have Macaulay Culkin with a allergic reaction, but you got to move it along.
But what's funny? That joke it kind of comes like a signature joke, like.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd walk into the mall and people come up to me like, "You kind of look like Macaulay Culkin if you let himself go."
Yeah.
I look at you like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, oh, I saw one of your shows. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Does that happen a lot? You get noticed a lot from your stand-up?
Stand-up and Rocky, like people start talking to me, and sometimes I don't have no clue, especially Rocky.
Yeah. Like
they'll talk to me like, yeah, I used to go all the time, and I'm like, okay, I remember you. And I'd be sitting there talking like, yeah, this is my wife. And my wife would be like, who's that? I don't know.
No idea. It's like noticing a porn star at a restaurant. It's like I know them, but I can't tell my wife where I know her from. She won't understand.
Yeah, going for definitely when porn stars.
Right.
Porn stars. Every guy knows about every porn star, but
every porn star, we know them all. It's just it's in here. It's ingrained.
To each other, we do.
Yeah.
And my wife asks, "Oh, who's this?" I don't know, honey. Why don't we Google her?
I don't know, but she looks like a whore. I never want to talk to her.
Yeah. Who's Jana Michaels?
Oh, the Mammary Queen. She retired.
She did?
Yeah, yeah. Her and Lisa Ann. Lisa Ann just retired too.
Lisa Ann was involved with Michael Delzado.
Yes, she was. She had some very interesting comments about him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throwing like a hot dog down a hallway, I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yeah, a 747 is huge, but even that looks small in the Grand Canyon. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, man. I mean, not feeling it.
Oh,
so,
boy.
So, after that, you've had some other podcasting and radio experience. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I've done, this is being on a show from the point, it's actually my third show.
Yeah.
I've done a show. It's called Marconi's Regret. It was me. I actually the show started talking to a friend of mine that we were in the chat. Two other friends. We were in the chat room of another show, of like another internet radio show. Mm-hmm. That we had never like met in person, but we were just like talking. We became good friends, and they're two girls. Mm. And we just said, I said, I want to do this. I want to do a show. I think it'd be something I'd be really good and excel at. And she goes, so did I. And I said, okay. Yeah. So all of a sudden, like, she gets I get a phone call from her, like probably like 6 hours later. She goes, well, I could get a studio time. We could get studio time on this day.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, it's like, wow, you're really serious? She's like, yeah, we're going to do this. I'm like, okay. So we do this. And at this point, like, it's not as easy as it was, like, as it is now. Like, now I'm literally sitting here in a room in my house doing this show where I used to travel to Nyack, New York every Wednesday to do this show. Yeah. And,
life is much simpler because I'm not even wearing pants right now. So yeah.
Neither am I. No homo, And
it's not weird at all.
No. There's nothing weird about like two guys talking to each other and not wearing pants right now with a camera.
2014, almost 15.
I know, isn't it? No homo.
No homo. The Jetsons did not see this coming.
No,
it's that simple. So
yeah, all I could do is stand up and it'd be a little bit homo.
It would be a little more awkward. But, it's okay. Maybe really little, if you know what I mean. But I had to take it. I had to take it. It was there. It was right there. If I didn't take it, you wouldn't respect me.
We might get kicked off of YouTube.
Right. Yeah, YouTube's going to have enough of that. For some reason, these two fat guys started showing their wieners. They're gone. Banned.
No, or they were just like, we saw what they were working with. We're going to let them go.
Right. We're going to have sympathy. These two assholes are married. I'm sure that their wives feel bad enough for them.
Yeah, let them have their YouTube.
Let them have their little small cocktail weenie fest. There's nothing wrong with it.
I was going all the way up to Nyack and to the studio and stuff, and we were doing our show.
And you're doing this with a female.
Two females.
Two females. Oh, wow. See, that you don't see a lot of that. That's an interesting spot to be in.
Yeah, it was, considering one of them I hooked up with.
Oh, God. Awkward.
And we had to all keep it under, keep it, like, very hush-hush.
Oh, God. Like, you had to keep it on the down low?
Yeah, it was before the show. Like, she wasn't even going to be on. It was somebody else. And we needed another person. And she lived, like, really close to the studio. Oh, yeah. And then she said, the one other girl, she said, listen, Christine's going to do the show. I'm like...
You're like, oh, what? No!
No, I said, okay. Boy, this is going to be fun.
Oh, my God.
So, like, the first, like, few weeks, there was, like, a little bit of tension between us. Like, not off air and stuff.
Sure.
And then, like, as it went, and we kind of, like, it kind of got better.
Yeah.
And, we became very good friends again, and we were, nothing, but it was a little weird at first.
I'm sure. Because, like, you have to be sitting there doing a show dreading that anytime the wrong topic can come along and she's going to talk about my small penis. It's like, oh, let's not reference anything small.
We had on this one female ventriloquist. Her name's April Bruckner. She's written a few books.
Yeah, I know that name.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a ventriloquist nerd a little bit. It's something I don't really talk about, but I'm kind of a ventriloquist guy. I like Jeff Dunham and all them. And
I've done shows with Otto and George.
Oh, wow. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That we talked about that in the Lost episode.
Yeah. I'll talk about him after this.
Absolutely.
I had April Bruckner on, and we were talking, and she was just talking about April Bruckner brought up about something, and then she said, it's like, Jake and Christine, they're really, they really go at it. They're going at it like they're a married couple.
Oh shit!
And then Christine, it's just like that point. I was just like, oh. I went on a date with Jake.
Oh.
Everyone, and like all of a sudden, like the tension got so thick that you could cut a knife.
Oh yeah. Luckily you didn't have to poo, because I'm sure that sphincter was like fucking tight. Oh.
I wish I had the poo, because then we could have talked about that.
Something. You know what, guys? Before we talk any more about that, I've really got a shit.
I just went doo-doo and wants to clean me. So
and she'll be like, oh, I remember that again. Oh, Jesus. That's like our date.
So we did that. And then I had the other show. It was called Clusterfuck Radio.
Clusterfuck Radio.
Yeah, that was with a few other guys. I was like the show. It was kind of getting hard for me to get up to Marconi's Regret, because then the show moved from Nyack, New York to Long Island.
Oh, jeez.
Because the technology was there to do it from home, but the home was for one person was all the way in Long Island.
Oh, fuck.
So it's just like $40 in trains, no thank you.
Oh, jeez, man, yeah. Are you gonna pay for my transportation cost? And I'm sorry.
So at that point, it was just like, all right. So then the other show was a few of my other friends just said, yeah, So we did some interviews with like Florentine, and we did a half of interview with Jackie the Joke Man.
Half an interview?
Like we said, the internet was not that good, and everything went down.
It happens.
Yeah,
it happens to the best of us, Jake. Don't worry, buddy.
we might not. We'll find out if this is all.
Yeah, well, hopefully this works out. You never fucking know. Fucking internet.
So, and I'll never forget that night where it was like he went down, and we had somebody else on as a setup from another show. There was a show. There was these two comics. The one comic's name was Joe Conti, and the other comic's name is John Conti.
Joe and John, not related, I guess, right?
Not related.
Oh, great.
Joe Conti is probably he's a really funny comic. He's really, he's probably one of the guys that is like, been there for me as far as radio. It helped me get some gigs, and like, kind of was like, not like, in an industry full of dicks. He was one of the few nice guys out there.
He's your battle buddy, as we say in the Army. He's your battle buddy. He was your guy you can depend on. He was the guy you went to the trenches with. He was older, and like if I needed advice or I needed something, I'd say, hey Joe, listen, oh yeah, do it, But John Conti was older. The guy looked like Peter Griffin, and he was the biggest hack and stole jokes. Oh god! Oh, joke stealers are the worst.
So he kind of like, but Joe Conti booked rooms, and John Conti started booking rooms too.
Oh fuck!
So then something happened where one person was trying to book something, and then something happened, and then they were starting to spread all these rumors. Now our show was on at the same time as the Conti and Kenny show, so we kind of set him up. So our phones went down. So what did we do? We had all the calls go to my cell phone, and I put the cell phone up to the speaker.
Oh my god!
On speaker. So we set him up, and like the whole thing, and then he like spun out of there, and like he found out that it was a setup later on.
Oh, I'm sure he was not happy.
Not. He thought it was all on me.
Oh fuck!
Let's just say John has not contacted me. I think I'm off his Christmas card list.
So how long did that show last for? How long were you on that show?
I was on that show for probably a good year and a half.
So you had a good run. I
had a good run. The show's still going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's been.
You want to talk about why you left?
Actually, I left because it was really coming down to time and just getting to the studio, because the studio actually, just like the other one, moved.
Oh, fuck!
It moved like much further North Jersey, and the one guy who was doing it he had kind of like a swing schedule for work, so it was kind of like he could just like go in and like be up there at a time, like, you know, like be up there for 6 o'clock and like.
So that's kind of like working with me. Like I'm the one asshole in the entire group that's medically retired and does nothing. So I could be whatever, wherever, but it's just like, fuck you, fuck you. I work.
So yeah, and I guess you could say that
a little bit. There's no resentment there.
Yeah, you know, nothing. I take a half day to do this.
Oh, right. Oh God, I suck.
No, it's all right.
So after that show, where did you go next? Where was the next destination? Was it Shot from the Point? Is that when you found Tommy?
It was actually I took some time. I did stand up, and afterwards I kind of took a little bit of a break. My father had passed away, and after that I just didn't feel it for a while.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean,
I didn't feel like being funny. I didn't feel like laughing. Like anything I did right, it just didn't really mesh.
Yeah.
And then it's funny. It was like around that time, like, you know, kind of. I guess you could say it kind of came in at the right time. Like, because I always love. I'm a huge hockey fan. Like, as we're doing this right now, I'm watching the World Juniors.
You seemed a little distracted at a few points, yeah.
I'm watching the Czech in Denmark. So, you know, I love hockey.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to do a sports talk comedy radio.
Yeah.
And I heard what you and Tommy were doing.
Yep. For those of you out there who don't know, Tommy and I basically started Shot from the Point together. I mean, he started, I jumped on immediately, and we started growing it, and then Jake came on board, and then I left, and
he kicked you out.
Yeah, I got run out of the place because I'm difficult. No, you know, we'll touch on that real quick. I left. I had a whole bunch of personal issues. Wasn't in the right place. We had nothing personally between the three of us. It just wasn't working at the time, and I walked away, stepped away from podcasting completely. I'm in a better place, and we're all working together again. So, but you found Shot from the Point, and you saw what we were doing.
Like, I saw what you were doing. And I was just like, at that point, I messaged Tommy. I said, "Listen, I want to be on here. I need I was kind of like demanding, like in a way, kind of like with the whole Rocky thing. It's like, I need to be on. Like, yeah. I know what I could bring to this. Like, because anything I do, I was like, I'm bringing something to the table. Yeah. And I know with this, I could definitely bring my comedy. I could definitely bring this. You know, I have a good knowledge of the game. You know, I coached, you know,
That's the one thing I did not have. I was such a hockey noob at the point.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about hockey.
You broke in right at the right time, too.
I did. I kind of a hockey boom, if you will. Absolutely. And it was a lot of fun. We were doing things a little differently than other hockey shows. And, yeah, you gravitated right towards me. You jumped right in, and you were a very good fit. I knew what I had to do because I had the experience with the other shows. Sure.
And the one thing I always wanted to do, I wanted to do a sports talk comedy like show. Yeah. Kind of like what Shot from the Point, even though like Shot from the Point wasn't like directed to be that.
No.
But it like I think I kind of like pushed it in that direction.
Yeah.
Like me coming on.
Yeah, I think that's fair because you and I had contract when I was on and when you were on, because we were rarely on at the same time. They were different shows, and they were both
you and I are the same person.
Yeah, that's right. It's all an act. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Yeah, it was one of those type of situations. But we were very different. We had contrasting styles, and the show would have a different vibe every time. Which is a really cool thing for Tommy, because it's like he gets to do a different type of show every week, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely. So then I started going to that, and at first it didn't start off like all like great, like with like I did the interview, it didn't go too well.
Yeah.
And then then when we came back after the lockout, I did a show. I did like a show and a half, and there was a time I thought Tommy literally was about to say, "Listen, Jake, I'll call you. You don't
call me. I'll call you." Yeah.
I really thought this was gonna happen, and then just something clicked. There was one thing. We were going through the news, and Tommy played a clip about the Matt Cook text message.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Carlson. Eric Carlson said, "It's like, yeah, Matt Cook sent me a text message," and I just went. I'm like you said, my observation.
Yeah.
I just said, I wonder what the text message said. And at that point, it just was like, I found it. It hasn't been like the dull moments.
That was your aha moment.
Yeah. Like it took like a few shows.
Sure.
But at that point, it was just like, oh, okay, I'm back. I'm fucking back. Like I'm definitely like I'm not dead.
It's a confidence thing. I think 90% of that is confidence, and you got yours.
Yeah, I got it back, and at that point, it was just like I was just flying. Like since that little joke, it was just like flying. Like I don't think we've had a bad show since that day.
Yeah.
Since that time, like, and this was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, yeah. Shit, yeah, almost 2 seasons ago.
Fuck
shit.
Yeah, Jesus, man, time flies, doesn't it?
Holy crap! Yeah. That just at that point, I was just like, I knew it was like, all right, I'm here to stay, and now I have to, but now I have to live up to it.
Yeah.
Tommy, remember when I did that text message joke? But now like I've set the bar. And now every week I go into that show, I have to reset the bar.
It's a good feeling, though. It gives you something to shoot at. I get the same feeling. I feel now I'm finally motivated and I'm doing things that I want to do. And when you're doing that, God, it makes the job easier. Because this is not the easiest thing in the world to do sometimes.
No, it's not. It definitely isn't. I mean, every week I go in there. I mean, there's times, I kid you not, like there's times like, I think like, shit, did I pay attention a lot this week to what's going on? But I'm like, then it's like, but sometimes I'm like, when I find myself not being that prepared,
yeah,
is when I do my best.
Sure.
Because it's like, but then there's times like we were talking like when Alexander Ovechkin broke up with his girlfriend over the summer. I started like, and I read this, I knew we were talking about it. I started singing breakup songs in a Russian accent. I was like, all by myself. And I started singing this like in the middle of like the grocery store.
Oh my God.
And my wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm singing breakup songs in a Russian accent. She's like, why? I'm like, Alexander Ovechkin broke up with his girlfriend. And it's just like, okay. And my wife's,
okay. Where are the bananas? I told you to get bananas. Come on.
But sometimes like if I hear something for the first time, I'll be like, I'll have such an ignorant response to it.
Sure. No, that's relying on your pure funny, though. That's the best moments. When you're just, boom, you're locked in, and it's just, you don't always need to be prepared. That's where being a comedian really comes in handy.
Yeah, I mean, but I should have an idea of, like, who's doing what, though.
Well, yeah, you should probably take some sort of notes, probably.
Holy shit.
But preparation's for suckers.
When's the playoffs?
Right. Playoffs?
That's the best. When we opened up the show on opening night, and they were putting up the banners, we had this one, he's a Joe Cronin fan.
Oh, God.
It's Black Mamba.
Oh, yeah, he's wanted to fight me for a long time. Yeah, I know Black Mamba. Hi, Black Mamba. I'm sure he's watching. He's my troll.
He said something when they were raising the banners. We asked, So you watching because he's from L.A.
Yeah, he is.
He's like, so you're watching the banners being raised. He goes, "Is it the playoffs yet already?" Typical. It's like typical LA response, you know.
That is a very typical LA response.
So I was just thinking, it's like as long as I'm like a little bit above like that level, I'll be fine. Like
Right.
as far as stopping the point goes. You know?
Thank you, Black Mamba, for setting the bar.
You know, as long as I know like what hockey is, and you know.
So they play with a puck.
Yeah.
They play with pucks. I know that. No. Look, the confidence had to be there because if I could be on the show and barely be able to speak the lingo, then you knew you had to be good. You know, if you can be above that, you're fine. But I've gotten better with hockey, and I love the sport. It's a lot of fun.
You know, hockey was the first sport that I gravitated to.
Yeah.
You know, as far as like all sports. So, you know, and like I think like when you start to find a sport, you start finding interest in like the other sports and stuff. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I think hockey might be the most comedically appropriate of all sports too. There's so many funny shit that goes on in hockey, just like the instant injustice of fighting to the benches being the way they are. The only sport that has line changes. They don't have to call a timeout to change their player. There's so many weird nuances that can be absolutely hysterical. It really lends itself to being a comedian.
Look at Dave Coulier.
There you go. Another two Full House references in the same show. We're on fire. We're Stamos. Jeez.
Dave Coulier was a comic, and also he was a hockey player.
Yes, he was.
I think there's someone else too. I can't. Actually, you know what? The guy that really got me into stand up, I got him into Rocky Horror and stuff too.
Oh wow.
He was actually he was a hockey player and he in stand up.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I used to joke around with him and call him Dave Coulier.
Dave Coulier.
So.
I sure you just told you to cut it out. Yeah, I did it. One of us had to. Speaking of influences and such, kind of reference that a little bit. Who do you think are your biggest comedic influences? Who were the guys that made you go, this is good?
Tommy Callahan.
Yeah, right. Well, let me tell you. No, Jake. Let me tell you something. Link. Let me tell you something, buddy. They're all a bunch of pussies. None of you guys are getting laid. I'll make it a little easier. If you had to have a Mount Rushmore comedy, who is on that Mount Rushmore?
Well, no, my personal influences probably want to be on the Rushmore, but Jim Norton definitely is one of them. Like hearing him, like his brash like sense of humor,
yeah,
and like him being like the dirtbag that he is,
right.
And my friends have compared me to like the poor man's Jim Norton.
Yeah, some comedians you wonder where do they begin in their character, or where do they end in their character begin. You don't have that question about Jim Norton. You're fairly confident that's Jim Norton.
I'm sure that he's that. Almost everything with his prostitutes and stuff. I'd have to go with him. Probably, I obviously throw in the Carlins.
Sure.
That's a gimme. I love Jim Florentine.
Yep.
Jim Florentine. He's actually like lives right down the road from me.
Really?
Yeah, lives like practically the same neighborhood. Just like a lot of. Probably, like I said, the Carlins, the Florentine Norton.
This might seem weird, but I see a lot of Louis C.K. in you. When
I'm actually, I get very jealous of what Louis C.K. could do.
I see a lot of what he does. I see in you as far as the observations. I love Louis C.K. by the way.
That's actually a very, very high compliment.
I see it. I mean, I think delivery style, I think, is close, is similar. You're both rely heavily on observations. I think it's very apropos.
Because there's sometimes I'll talk to my wife and I'll say some things like that. It'd be very Louis C.K. Like I'll talk about my nephew. Mm-hmm. Like I'll be like, I'd be like, when are like I'll say something like when are just people gonna realize that like like my sister was like, I love him, you love him. When are people gonna realize like when it's just that nobody outside of our family really cares about him?
That is a very Louis C.K. joke. That is a very Louis C.K. joke.
And she's like, that's a horrible thing to say. I'm like, it's true though.
Yeah. How horrible can it be if it's fucking true? Jesus.
Yeah, because if something came up with like Christmas or something, and somebody didn't get him a present.
Oh, boo-hoo. Oh no.
So I'm like, come on, like it's like I love him. He's my nephew. I don't have any kids yet.
Yeah.
I go, but it's like. If I saw a kid on the side of the street, I'm not gonna like let him be on the side of the street. But if I just saw a kid, I don't care about that kid. If I saw a man picking up a kid, I would not like say, "Hey, you should stop that." I would just think, "Oh, that's your kid."
Right? I totally get you. I've got my kid, and I don't like anybody else's.
Yeah.
They're great. I love except for Tommy's kid. I love Laura. She's fantastic. She's a great little girl. But outside of that, if I don't know you, you're just another kid to me. You're somebody else who can give me germs.
I remember I was in a toy store, and there's like, you ever just see a kid and you just absolutely like dislike?
Yeah.
There's no reason you like. He's like 3, but you still like don't like him.
Little snot-nosed little bastard. Yeah.
And like you've seen him like 3 times. Maybe it's just you don't like his parents. I remember. Oh God! And this is how bad it was. Like his birthday's around Christmas, and his parents actually like you could like go to Toys R Us and like actually get like a gift registry, like a wedding.
Oh yeah. They do that for birthdays now too over here in Germany.
Yeah, that you could do that. And I remember I had this list, and I remember like in this toy store with my wife, like looking for these things for him, and just saying, I hate this fucking kid. I hate this fucking kid. And my wife's like looking at me like, Jake, they're thinking we're shopping for our kid and you're talking about him. I go, no. I was like, why would you say that? I'm like, no, because I don't like this kid. I go, I don't know why. I don't know why if I don't like him or if I don't like his parents. Because I don't like his parents, and I figure he's just a combination of 2 people I don't like.
Right.
And the parents are just really annoying people.
Yeah.
And I just gotta have to be at your birthday. So I figured the combination of the 2 people that are annoying, you're gonna just be really annoying.
Yeah, you don't need to actually know the kid because chances are 2 annoying fucks are gonna have an annoying fuck child. Just how it is. It's science. Let's just deal with it.
Yeah, and it just was funny. I just would say that like, I hate this fucking kid. Why do we have to go to this goddamn birthday party?
Oh my god! Because you have to, Jake. That's why.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I completely forgot where we were.
Yeah, we got to
how did we get to here? I have no fucking idea. Oh, influences. That's where we started.
Yeah. We're from influences to hating children.
Right.
Yeah. Andrea Yates.
Yeah.
That's who.
So
Casey Anthony.
You're right. Oh God. So of all the things that you've done so far, which has been quite a bit, quite numerous actually, what was your pinnacle? What was your favorite thing that you've done so far, and where do you want to go from here? Where do you see Jake Link in the future as far as comedy?
I have not done what I wanted to do just yet.
Yep.
I have not done it. So I can't answer that question just yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could tell you what I've done. I mean, there's so much to choose from. Just like, I mean, I could say talking to Otto and George.
Yeah, that's right. You wanted to talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the top was like I did like another like comedy type thing. And I was talking to him. He goes, this is after the show, and like just talking to him on like a personal level. He goes, yeah, it's some good, it's like good stuff up there. I'm like, thanks. I'm talking to him, and like, it's like we're all just trying to get a little. We're just trying to do the same thing. We're all just trying to make it each one of us. And I remember I said to him, I was like, dude, what are you talking about? You were on Letterman last year,
right?
And and at that point, I like, it took me a little bit to realize, like, holy shit, he didn't see it like that.
No.
Like, he saw himself as just somebody trying to make it.
Yep.
And he's somebody who didn't make it, and had a
career,
living,
yeah.
That
had to be quite an experience to hear that. I mean, that had to kind of say something to you,
Here's another one who lived in my neighborhood.
Jesus, man! It's like what are the fucking musicians in Liverpool and shit? Like everybody's goddamn Beatles. Is that where you come from? Jeez.
Yeah, Central New Jersey. I guess literally, like there was a party, and
well, in New Jersey, you're either starting a fucking band or you're a comedian. I guess those are your two options.
Yeah, it's funny. There was a party, and the one girl that I did the radio show with, she was kind of invited, but she didn't go, and he lives like right down the road from me, and I never been to his house, but but I know like if she went, she was gonna invite me.
Yeah.
And it turns out that it was a Labor Day party. That party, like Norton ended up coming.
Oh shit.
And like everybody was like saying like, everybody was all like, you should have went, and it was like all like a whole thing, because like I was like I guess you could say like a step or two below that social group.
Oh, okay.
Of like the Norton and like the people, like I knew the people, and I like the people that like hung out with them, and people that like go to their house, and I would talk to them and see them, and so it was kind of like it's I guess it's like if I stuck with it and didn't like kind of like have the hiatus that I did,
yeah, I
probably like who knows what would have happened, but I can't.
Do you get hung up on that sometimes, like the what ifs? It's so easy to do especially when you're a comedian. Do you get hung up on that?
I try not to.
Yeah.
But
do you feel you still have the hunger and the drive to really still make a push in comedy, or do you feel those days are done?
Those days are never done.
Yeah.
Because shot from the point right now is what kept me hungry.
Yeah.
Doing shot from the point is what got me out of my funk. Is probably like what's really kept me hungry and kept me fresh, kept the gears moving.
Sure.
Keeps
you sharp. It definitely keeps you sharp.
Yeah. I have a show this Saturday. I'm doing at this.
Are you doing a stand up?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I'm doing it. It's my one friend. It's like a open mic competition. So
cool.
I'm just getting back into it. It's kept me, and doing shot from the point, and my friends even saying get back into it. Yeah. It's kept me hungry, and it's kept me. I realize I said it's kept me hungry.
Yeah.
And you have not once. A lot I said it, and not once if you said a fat joke.
No, because I'm respectful. I'm fat because if I start a fat joke, then you're going to come with a fat joke, and then it's just going to turn into this big, never-ending cycle of fatitude, and I don't want to do that.
And then we're going to go eat something.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'm going to go cry as I'm fucking eating like chocolatized spaghetti, and that's just I don't need to do that. I'll go masturbate in my yogurt later. Fuck. Me rubbing ice cream bars on my chest, going, "Oh, Jake, you bastard!" No, I don't need to do all that. So
no. I just thought it was. I just picked up on that.
I'm a nice guy. I've been trying to tell everybody this forever. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, it's us Northeasters that are the douches.
Exactly, you fucking douche nozzles, right?
Yeah.
So look, I'm gonna get you. Oh no, go ahead.
But I mean, like I said, it's kept me going. So it's like it's time. I've been writing. I've been doing some stuff like I did like this charity event, and like I emceed it, and I got up on stage. It was nerve-wracking at first, and then it was just like any other day.
Sure. Are you nervous about this Saturday?
Of course I am.
But it's that good nervous, right?
Yeah, it's that I'm getting back into it. And if I bomb, I bomb. Oh well.
Yeah. How long of a set you gonna do?
I think it's like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
I think
nothing too daunting.
I think I'm gonna redo a joke about that Steve Harvey did about the OJ trial.
Oh Jesus, you bastard! Okay, now I gotta tell that story real quick. I told this story during the Lost interview that will never see the light of day. It was mainly because I don't have it. But 13 years old, Boys and Girls Club, Las Vegas. I'm doing a stand-up thing, a whole bunch of other talent. It's a talent show situation. Doing stand-up, and I had this bit. I had 7 minutes of gold. I was so excited. I stand up there, and for some reason, I forgot everything and defaulted to a Steve Harvey bit of O.J. Simpson. I could not even tell you why. 13-year-old white kid at a Boys and Girls Club doing Steve Harvey O.J. jokes. Yeah, that went over real well. Jesus. Never been on stage again.
You should go. I don't know. I know like Germans don't have like a good sense of humor.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah. The Germans actually are really good about that. Maybe not in the 40s, but, you know, they've learned to laugh at themselves. Let's just say that. No, this actually, you'd be surprised. Germany is a little bit of a hotbed right now for stand-up clubs. They've kind of gotten popular over here.
Well, like, what about like the language barrier? Like.
Oh yeah, I couldn't. They would look at me and just they'd laugh at my sight. But other than that,
look at him speaking his gobbledygook.
Right. Yeah, I could. There's places on Post that I can go if I wanted to do a stand-up night. But
you should.
Nah, this is my place for that. You know, I get a few yucks on here, and that's okay. I'm happy with that. I don't need that. I'll piss myself on stage, and it'll just be bad for everybody. So there's a new thing I want to do at the end of interviews, because we've gone about an hour and a half. We've gotten a good interview out of this one. I'm really glad that audio didn't work, because I felt we had a way better conversation this time.
It wasn't rushed.
The last one was good. Yeah, this was not rushed at all. But there's a new thing I want to do. I'm going to have everybody who's on the show, and you're going to be the first. Just out of nowhere. Don't think about it. I'm going to ask you a question and just respond as quickly as you can, okay? You down?
All right, let's see.
All right. Give me your 5 favorite swear words of all time. Go.
Cunt, faggot, nigger, fuck, shit.
That's 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I could have said 15, and you could still rattle them off.
I probably would have said faggot like 3 more times.
Faggot, kike. I mean, it just would have been terrible.
I don't know why I said. Oh boy, you're gonna get in some trouble.
You threw nigger in there. What's the matter with you? Oh my God.
Said favorite. Like,
Jesus.
You can edit that one out.
I might have to edit that one out, or what's it coming to go, or something. I don't know. I don't have the blur technology. Fuck. Oh my God. Do you want to reshoot that part? If not, I'll air it. I don't give a fuck. I'll air the whole damn thing. It's up to you. I will give you a one-time courtesy. Do you want to reshoot that?
You know what? No.
So
great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's my new bit where I'm going to have you were the first one to do the 5 words. I figure it's just going to throw so many people off, and just like there, I'm going to get fucking gold. I'm going to get gold. Then I fucked myself because I said the word too. So.
You know what it is? It's just when you say. It comes down to the old Louis C.K. bit. Yeah. So now, when you say faggot, cunt, all of a sudden you go right for that word.
Of course. Yeah, where are you going to go from cunt and faggot? Where else could you go? You set the bar so high. There's really only one place you could have went. So, you know. And we thank you for it, sir.
That's right. Top that next interview.
Right. I'm going to do the next one I do. I'm going to try to get an old friend of the show, Carolina Sivas. She's a YouTube actor. She's classic LA, prim and proper, vegan, and I'm going to hit her with that question at the end because I can't wait.
About a complete 180 from this interview.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see what she has to say. That'd be great. I'd love to have her on.
Watch her say the exact same thing.
That would be fantastic. You'll be the first person I call. I'd be like, Jake, you won't fucking believe this. This is incredible. This is fucking incredible.
Exact same order.
Exact same order. Even the inflections in the voice were the same. It's uncanny. Well, look, man, I really appreciate you coming out. I hope you had a good time. This was absolutely fantastic.
Big time.
Jake Link, everybody. You can catch him on Shot from the Point every single Sunday at 3 p.m.
Catch us on a special Thursday show this week.
Yes, special Thursday, first of the year episode, right after the Winter Classic. We will be going live. I'll be there. Everybody's going to be there. The entire crew of Shot from the Point is going to be doing a little thing, so make sure you guys check that out. Jake, you were amazing as always. You were great on the show tonight. This was even better than the Lost episode. Thank you so much for being patient and making this happen.
Thank you.
You're a gentleman and a scholar, good sir.
Let's not throw a scholar word out there.
Yeah, let's not throw the S word out there. You got any plugs for the kids? Anywhere else they can find you?
Yeah, just you can find me on Twitter at Jake Link Comedy. You can find me on Facebook. And every week, obviously, it's Shot from the Point. Yeah, obviously I have a show this week. This is in Ocean Township. You can find that on my Facebook and also the Twitter for more details. I don't know that many details, and I'm horrible at plugging. So
that's okay. No problem at all. Luckily, you got Tommy, who's like the king of plugs, who does all of that stuff.
Tommy yells at me all the time. He goes, "You're horrible at plugs. You should really just give me all the information."
Yeah, because he's got the plug thing down. There's no question.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed this week's episode of Creators Corner, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. We're out of here. Peace.
Bye.